Now we're on to question 3. And this is another own words question. So if we have a look at it, it's asking you to read lines 9 to 12 and explain what the writer believes has happened to the idea of truth. And again, it's reminding you, as it will at the end of all of these questions, to use your own words. So here's the bit of passage that we're looking at, questions 9 to 12. This question is worth 2 marks. And here I've circled the important bit down here. Again, you can get 2 marks for a more extended answer, but realistically, I think the safest bet is to go for 1 + 1, and that's 2 comments. So you're looking for 2 things. And here you can see that we actually have 4 bullet points there. So there's quite a bit to pick from. And so the question is actually about what's happened to truth in this day and age. And really, the marking scheme here breaks it down. It's saying the stature of truth has been lessened. That means the admiration or the, when you think of somebody who has stature, you're thinking of somebody that we respect, that we look up to. So the fact actually the status of truth in society has been lessened, and that's the diminishing status, but you can't use the word status. Those of you who are doing drama will know that status is to do with power on stage, and so it's a word you should be familiar with. So really they've reworded it as stature, but you could actually put it as our admiration of truth has been lessened, or looking up to truth is no longer a thing. I mean, really, it's getting that idea captured in your words that's important. And actually, these own words questions are far harder than the analysis ones because you need to have the vocabulary to be able to answer them. So here's another important tip for own words questions. If you're not reading this year, you're going to really struggle with your understanding of the passage and your vocabulary when it comes to giving answers. So what you need to be doing is making sure you are reading regularly. And that's challenging reading, not books that you love, not ones that you've read again and again and read when you were like in primary school, which by the way, I do all the time if I've got the luxury on a holiday. That's joyful to do. The sort of reading that you have to do this year is not joyful. It's plugging through newspaper articles. It's making sure that you are reading something challenging. We all like to read things that are comfortable and enjoyable, but higher English demands something a lot more. So here the writer is also saying that what's happened to truth in society? We can't decide on what's true because we're hearing so many different things and things are so complex these days. There's also no way to find out what's true. See, people that are trying to cover up stuff in society, they layer it and layer it and layer it with such complexity that there's no way to actually find out. So the internet has actually complicated things so much that it's really hard to find out what's true. And so at the end of all that, it leads to this division or lack of communication, social breakdown, chaos soon follows. You could reword that as craziness in society then follows, or suddenly everybody's fighting each other, or there's no more rules and everyone's just doing what they want. All of those things are a really good rewording of chaos. Now, again, you had your first question, which was nice and easy. You had your first analysis question, which if you've done your practice, you should also be good at. And here, this is the first really quite challenging question in this paper. So, the roundup of question 3 for you is that, remember, has to be your own words. Try and give as many answers as there are marks, and make sure that you are trying to fully express the answer in a way that can be understood. Listen, sometimes pupils word it quite clumsily, but if you know what they're saying, you can award the mark.